Hey guys, so this is the house that we're going to try to recreate as best as we possibly can. So let's just jump right into it. So here I'm just trying to have a basic understanding of the layout of the house. And looking back, I could have counted tiles and estimated a little bit better, but even if it's a little bit bigger, I'm perfectly fine with that because I can add more rooms later on. I could add a kid's room later on. I could adjust it to the needs of whatever's in my place in this household. So it's perfectly fine. More space, the better. And when I'm placing the furniture, I'm trying to find items that look similar to or as closely identical as I possibly can to each item. So like for example with the mat, I was looking for something with stripes, but I couldn't find something. I know it's here. So that's the mat I wanted to go with, or the carpet or whatever, or the rug, but it was too big. And even when I sized it down, it still wasn't as accurate. So I decided to go with that rug instead. The kitchen, these were the exact cupboards in the thing, in the photo, the exact refrigerator. The stove, I do not have a stove. Currently, I do not own a pack where the stove has 6 burners, unfortunately. But this was definitely the closest stove I found to the one in the photo. So I went with it. Now, this room is supposed to be the bedroom, and there's a slight angle there to place the door. Um, Eventually, I readjusted the rooms a little bit. I kept increasing and decreasing the space. Here is where the bathroom was placed, and then beside the bathroom would be the living room area. And here's where the main door would be placed. But I kept readjusting and adjusting, trying to see if I could work something better out. So I could look as closely as possible to the image in the photo. And again, we're just trying to find items that look similar to the ones in the photo, but lucky for us, there was a napkin holder. So that's fantastic. They didn't have a trash can or a alarm in the house, but hey, if you're building a sim house, then certain things are a necessity, and those are definitely necessities. So here I found windows that look similar to the one in the bathroom. Definitely, that is the exact window in the photo. And here I was just trying to find something similar again. Just anything that looks close to would work for me. All right, so right here I'm just thinking, phew, so far so good. Everything looks as closely as it possibly could to the photo, and I couldn't be happier. So this part of the build, I kept going back and forth with it, but eventually I settled on something and I was happy with it. I just wanted to be able to place an object there. I noticed some squares in the photo and I'm assuming it's those box lights. So I just placed box lights in the ceiling, and eventually I just kept adding bookshelves, and I'm trying to find a good TV. Why not go with the better TV, in my opinion? So that's exactly what I did. So eventually I'll go back into this build and replace a lot of these things and change the color and the paints and everything. But for right now, I'm just trying to build something similar. So here, because I wanted to place an indoor light outside, I just had to build a room on the second floor and remove the walls just so I could have the floor for the room to place the indoor light outside. So that's what I did. And right now I'm just trying to find some kind of asphalt. Looking back in the photo, the asphalt was gray, more dark gray, bluish. So that could be readjusted, but that's fine. No big deal. So right now I'm just adding plants on the outside. It's definitely not the same as in the photo, but we're gonna work with what we have. And what I have right now are these flowers and these plants. So I'm just randomly placing a couple here, a couple there, over here, until I'm satisfied. So I did change it a couple of times, but again, work with what you have and it'll work itself out. It's fine. If you can't find the same style, then try to find the same color. If you can't find the same color, then try to find something similar in size or characteristic. It's perfectly fine. It'll work itself out. I ain't stressing. All right, fine. So I did really like that lighter purplish color that was outside, but I changed it to this brick color and yeah, I don't really like it, but I'll work with it for now. In the photo, it was taken from above because it was for the layout of the house or the blueprint for the house. So it's kind of free range, whatever we want to do outside. Typically what I usually do for my bills, I almost always add a pool to the outside. I almost always add the barbecue grill, computers, just activities for my Sims to do. I always pick the most expensive. Ever since I found cheat codes, they're my savior. So I almost always add either everything expensive or the best of the best for my Sims. Following the layout of the house here, if we wanted to make it cheaper, then we could make the rooms smaller or make the furniture the cheapest we possibly could, or scale back on the landscape. But hey, there was no budget for this house, so it's fine. It's fine. Okay, something that I usually do is I usually go overboard with the lighting outside sometimes. So for this, there's no exception. Reason being for that is sometimes my Sims get super scared when they go outdoors, and I don't want fear to kill them. So I try my best to just make their lives a little bit happier if I can. Uh, I usually love adding plants outside. I love how it looks. I love adding trees as well. Well, I didn't want to put the pea bush like right in between there. I liked how it looked though, but I didn't. I changed my mind about that one. And so far so good. It looked good to me, I think. Well, decent. Let's work with decent. I love the front though. The front of the build was really pretty. The rest, it's okay. I usually add again some kind of activity for my Sims to do, and the career path that I usually place my Sims, I almost always have to have a chess board there, so that's why I added the chess board. Ever since I bought that pack and I got the bicycle, I just place it everywhere as well. So my Sims have some means of transportation going back and forth. Since I don't have a car in the game as yet, then I'll work with the bicycle for now. All right, now so we're just gonna take a little teeny tiny sneak peek of what's going on inside. But that's not the focus. The focus right now is clipping. And if you don't know what clipping is, it's when there's an object going through the walls and you can see it indoors. So I don't really like seeing that. So I try my best to get rid of it as best as I can. So that's what I was doing here. Any object that I usually pay attention to the walls a lot. So if there's any object like there by the kitchen, then I try to remove that before I finish my build. So there's no error. So right at this point, I'm just double triple checking to see if there's any clipping anywhere in the walls. I didn't find any, so I was okay with that. I did go ahead and I added some brick to the interior, but you could change it back to plain white if you like. That's perfectly fine. That's the area where the computer is, and I think it looks pretty similar. The lamp, the chair, and everything. This is the living room area. The TV was on a desk or some kind of table with glass on it, so I think that works out perfectly fine. The bathroom, there was nothing special really about the bathroom. There's just a toilet, the sink, and the bathtub. Everything looked similar. The tiles even were the same. The bedroom, I was pretty happy with the outcome of the bedroom. The windows especially, the dresser especially, the lights especially, because they looked exactly the same. The side tables or end tables too look the same. So I was pretty happy with this. And then in the kitchen area looked phenomenal. It looked exactly So I was happy with the outcome for this entire build. Even the red light, I was on the outside, it's the same red light in the picture. So I'm happy. I'm okay with it. And something that I usually do is double check everything in my build to make sure I have all the necessities. So for example, like for me, lights are a necessity because my Sims tend to get scared of the dark. So I usually have a lot of lights hanging around. I love having a pool, so whenever there's summer and it gets too hot, at least my Sims have somewhere to chill. I usually have a thermometer there so they can, regulate the temperature, make it warmer during winter, colder during summer. So they're happy. I always go through morning, evening, and nights to check how my build looks throughout the day, just to see, and I'm pretty happy with the outcome. I usually have some kind of activities as well, so my Sims will be happy. I usually paint the ceiling, so whenever my Sims move in, inside doesn't look terrible. It needs to look like a house for me. So I did go back in and I started to add some plants to fill in any gaps that I noticed, and just double check everything, making sure that everything looks good. So if you are happy with this build, guys, thank you so very much for liking and commenting and showing your support and subscribing. I sincerely appreciate it. If you are interested in downloading this build, you could find it under my EA ID Stress Robot, or you could just type house and I guess it might pop up. I don't know, maybe. But if you are happy with it, please try to give your attempt or edit it, change the color, alter it if you like, and let me know how it goes. All right, guys, thanks a lot for watching. Bye.